Welcome everyone to the latest in our Encore Live series, Encore Live from Prague. I'm your host, John Linker, Program Consultant at Encore Tours. It's great to have so many of you joining us from all around the country, and on behalf of all of us at Encore, thank you. We are going to spend the next 30 minutes or so taking a tour around the Czech capital and learning about the Musica Orbis concert series and festival there, as well as the 2022 World Association for Symphonic Bands and Ensembles Conference, which will take place in Prague. Nestled in the heart of Central Europe, the Czech Republic, and specifically Prague, has long been one of the most popular tour destinations for encore groups. Prague is not only one of the most beautiful cities in Europe, but there's such a rich history of music and culture there, with a number of wonderful performance venues, which consistently draw strong audiences. It was home to such world-class composers as Dvorak and Smetana, and while not a native, Mozart was a frequent visitor and had a special affection for this city, remarking, "Meine Prager verstehen mich," or "My Praggers understand me." To serve as our tour guide this afternoon, we are so pleased to have joining us live from Prague, Mr. John Tregellas, Head of Operations for Encore Tours in Central Europe. Welcome, John. It is very great to see you.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here, and it's nice to see some directors who know our beautiful city. I'd like to say a special hi to Paige and to Maria.
Great. John, you and your colleagues do such a magnificent job working with our groups. And I thought it'd be great if you could just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your background and your experience facilitating concert tours.
Sure, I've lived here now for nigh on 30 years. And for all of that time, I've been actively involved with the music scene. I'm a pianist and a choral singer. And so it was kind of a natural development for me when I arrived in Prague to act as a bridge between visiting musicians and local promoters. And so very quickly, I slipped into a new role as an organizer of concerts and concert tours and festivals. And I've been doing it for a long time now. As you mentioned, Prague has been a really popular destination for visiting encore groups for many years. And although this year we only managed to get one tour completed before lockdown started, I'm happy to say that a lot of musical events are still taking place in Prague. The major Dvorak Festival just took place in September, with local symphony orchestras substituting for the international ones who couldn't make the trip. And as we speak, the highly regarded Janáček Festival in Brno is taking place, with just a few last-minute amendments to the program to ensure that it complies with current rules. Now, my team in Prague loves putting on concerts. That's what we are about. And although inevitably this year we had to cancel quite a lot of planned events, I thought it would be good to focus today on the things we are still planning and looking forward to, because I think that looking to a brighter future is definitely where we need to be at the moment.
Yes, agreed all around. I know you have a concert series and a relatively new festival under the Musica Orbis umbrella, which is a really exciting addition to the music scene there. Could you tell us just a little bit more about those?
Sure. Our Musica Orbis concert series, which usually takes place in the summer months and features youth orchestras and choral groups from all around the world, and which I think many encore groups have performed in, has been repurposed as Musica Orbis Bohemia. And this year we're going to feature talented local ensembles, and we'll have that festival from November to January. And our flagship Musica Orbis Prague Festival, an international competitive and non-competitive event, which usually takes place in July each year, has moved to an autumn date, and we already have 9 Czech choirs signed up and keen to sing. We are so enthusiastic about this event, which in a more normal year brings together performers from around the world to this, the hometown of Dvorak and Smetana, to make music in some of the most beautiful concert halls in Europe, with time for both individual performances and joint events like a church service in the magnificent St. Vitus's Cathedral, a competitive section, and of course the opportunity to make new friends and enjoy musical camaraderie in a stunning setting.
Great. I understand we have a short video about the Musica Orbis Festival, so let's take a look at that now. That really looks fantastic. I do just have a quick question for you, John. I know Musica Orbis began as a choral festival, but you have now expanded it to include instrumental groups, concert bands, and orchestras as well, correct?
That's correct.
Great. So that is a wonderful opportunity that's open to ensembles of all kinds. We have another short video we'd like to show you with a welcome from Maya Ridlova with Musica Orbis, and it's going to show us the magnificent Martin Hall at the Prague Academy for Music, where some of the festival performances are held. Let's play that now.
Great honor to welcome you to this magnificent Martin Hall, named by the famous Czech composer Bohuslav Martinů. It's the main concert venue of the Czech Academy of Music, and every year it holds hundreds of concerts of its most talented students. Also, every spring is the main competition venue of the famed Czech festival, Prague Spring. Despite all the unfortunate events of this year and the sad cancellation of our international summer festival, Musica Orbis Prague Festival, we were lucky enough to reschedule and save at least its national round, which will happen in these beautiful premises on the 24th to 25th of October. This hall proved to be an amazing teaser, and all of the choirs signed for our festival are thrilled to perform in this hall that is a dream of every Czech and probably Central European musician. We hope that next year will bring more calmness to our musical year, and we'll be able to organize our festival again in an international way in summer on the 8th to 12th of July of 2021 and 7th to 11th of July of the year 2022.
Wonderful. John, I know another big upcoming event that you're involved with in Prague is the 2022 World Association for Symphonic Bands and Ensembles Conference, or the WASBE Conference. This takes place every 2 years in different locations, and it features performances by top wind ensembles from across the world. So maybe you could just tell us a little bit more about the upcoming WASBE Conference.
Sure. Well, as all our band conductors out there will know, Czech composers have made a major contribution to the symphonic band repertoire. And that's true all the way from Julius Fučík and his famous March of the Gladiators, you know, the one. And then we have Václav Nelhybel, who, after emigrating to the US, was a very prolific composer for wind band. He's played by student groups around the world. And then, of course, Karel Husa and his Music for Prague, 1968, written as a heartfelt response to the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia in that year, and which is a very dramatic work and one of the most performed works for symphonic wind, with over 7,000 public performances to its credit at this point. If you don't know it, it's a very powerful piece. I recommend you check it out. Anyway, as you said, the World Association for Symphonic Bands and Ensembles, WASBE, is planning its next World Conference in 2022 in the month of July in the city of Prague. And we are privileged to have been chosen as the local organizers, together with host ensemble Prague Castle Guard Band. And I'd like to hand over for a moment in our next video to Colonel Václav Blahunek, who is the chief conductor of the Prague Castle Guard Band, a member of the WASBE board, and maybe familiar to some of you who participated in a prelude visit to Prague a couple of years ago, or maybe you experienced a workshop with him. Anyway, he is here to invite us all to the WASBE conference. So Boston, if you could please let us have that video.
Hello, my name is Václav Blahunek, and as a member of the WASBE Board of Directors, I'm happy to welcome you to Prague and inform you and invite you to Prague what is happening here. In 2022 is preparing the international conference of the World Association for Symphonic Bands and Ensembles in collaboration with the Prague Concert Company. It will be full week of symphonic band music. We wish to celebrate century anniversary of Karel Husa birthday in Prague, and at the same time 40th anniversary of the WASBE Foundation, and especially here in the Great Hall of the Joffin Palace, the 140th anniversary of premiere of the cycle of symphonic poem Má vlast, My Country by Bedřich Smetana. Welcome to Prague, to Joffin Great Palace.
I have to say it's really exciting and uplifting to be talking about and looking forward to these wonderful musical events that are going to be happening in Prague. And whether a group is coming there for a festival or just as part of a standard concert tour, Prague is such an amazing city to visit, and it offers so many great performance options. John, maybe you could just talk to our audience a little bit about the musical nature of the city and the kind of welcome that visiting ensembles can expect when they come there.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Well, there's an old Czech saying that goes, every Czech is a musician. And that is, in my experience, pretty close to the truth. In this country, we have a wonderful system, nationwide system of arts education, which it covers singing, instrumental performance, and visual arts. And it's both affordable and also incredibly widespread. So it stretches right out into the most provincial backwater. And it's also self-perpetuating in the sense that one generation of well-taught artists then teaches the next generation. So what that means for us, it's really great news, because it means that for concerts which take place in the Czech Republic, and including Prague, there isn't really the problem that you find in some other destinations, and maybe it's something you experience in the States, about getting audiences for concerts of classical music. There is a ready-made audience for classical music in this country because there are so many people who are involved in it also as amateur performers. And one thing I would also say is that the quality of the audience is very high. You get an audience that is informed and educated and appreciative and knowledgeable. And that's a great thing. And we have a concert club in Prague of 4,000 members. And that pretty much guarantees that any visiting ensemble that you may care to bring will get a very appreciative audience. So that I think is one of, in addition to the beauty of the city and of many of the historic venues, I think the quality of the audiences is one of the things that makes a visit to the Czech Republic very special.
Yes, absolutely. John, I know you've prepared a video for us that's going to take us on a little tour of your hometown. And it looks like you had a lot of fun putting this together, and I think our audience is really going to enjoy it as well. So let's take a look.
Prague, mother of cities, city of 100 spires, one of the most beautiful cities on the face of the earth, and my hometown. I'm going to take you on a walkabout today to show you some of the places that make Prague so special. And we're starting here in front of the Rudolfinum, which is the home of the Czech Philharmonic Orchestra, who perform in the Dvořák Hall, one of the most beautiful concert halls in the world. Let's take a look inside. The Dvořák Hall, named after the most famous of Czech composers, Antonín Dvořák. With its splendid neoclassical architecture and superb acoustics, this is the venue for hundreds of professional concerts every year. But it's also one of the main venues for our Musica Orbis concert series, which showcases talented young orchestras from around the globe in front of appreciative capacity audiences. St. Nicholas's Church, one of Prague's great Baroque churches, where visiting choirs are welcome to perform every day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And here we are in the very heart of Prague, the Old Town Square. Behind me, the magnificent medieval Team Church. The monument to the religious reformer Jan Hus. And the beautiful Baroque Church of St. Nicholas, where visiting groups are welcome to perform afternoon concerts every day. And finally, the famous Old Town Hall of Prague. So, this is the famous Czech trdelník, which you can find everywhere in Prague. Dobrou chuť. This is Prague's Municipal House, the most beautiful Art Nouveau building in the city. It's the home of our second symphonic hall, the Smetana Hall, where the Prague Symphony Orchestra are currently rehearsing. Because we don't want to disturb them, we'll at least go and take a look into the magnificent space of the cafe. Art Nouveau, the elaborate decorative style which swept through Europe at the end of the 19th century. One of its most famous practitioners was Czech artist Alfons Mucha, and one of its most magnificent monuments was here in the Municipal House. We are now in the cafe where we like to bring visiting groups to enjoy dinner surrounded by the superlative craftsmanship of this very special place. Our short walk through the center of Prague concludes here on Wenceslas Square, the commercial heart of the city. Thank you for accompanying me, and we are looking forward to welcoming you and your groups to Prague whenever the time is right.
That was great, John, and I'm really impressed how fast you were able to get from from place to place. Very well done. As great as the city looked in the video, I could say it's definitely even better in person. So I really hope everyone has a chance to visit at some point, and so many more wonderful, amazing places to see while you're there. We are honored to have another special guest who's joining us live from Prague today. That is Lucie Freiberg, who manages the Musica Orbis Prague Festival. Welcome, Lucie.
Hello, good evening or good afternoon.
Lucie, I know in addition to your work with Musica Orbis, you are also a choral director yourself. We'd love to hear a little bit more about the choir that you direct and your experiences with rehearsals and performances in recent months.
Well, yeah, I'm happy to share my thoughts and experience with choral live and choral activities over here in the Czech Republic. As a community choir director, I also get to connect with other choir leaders, not only in Prague, but also in other parts of our country. And we get to discuss our plans in terms of functioning, rehearsing, and performing in the near future. What I would like to start with is that I'm seeing an enormous hunger for singing and meeting in general. After the lockdown in March, people grew to feel lonely and apart, missing the social activities that they were used to. So to me, choir is an outlet that allows people to explore their inner soul and share that experience and joy with other members and audiences. So I think is one of the best prescriptions a doctor could have given after being locked inside for so many weeks, actually. So lucky with the technology we have today, we can keep connected virtually, practice, plan, and be ready for future performances. As you probably know, the Zoom rehearsals are somewhat satisfying, but the human interaction element is definitely missing. So when the lockdown ended, we were ready and performed for people craving live performances and to hear real people sing and bring a joy that pushes back the gray. The interest in singing and music in general is quite high, and with each restriction, people appreciate it even more than they have in a long time. And as John said, Prague is a beautiful historic city with a long history in music in many forms, and usually it welcomes millions of visitors a year, and venues throughout the city are bustling with many different performances and theater. And those numbers bounced back to a large degree during the summer, and theaters and venues sold out quickly again. I think people needed to be social again. Also, summer brought numerous choral events back to life as well. For example, I was honored to be a guest conductor at a non-competitive festival of choral singing called Bohemia Cantat, intended for individual singers or entire choirs. Traditionally, this festival is an international festival, and we actually did have some singers from abroad, mostly from Germany, Austria, and Slovakia, I think. So singers apply to one of the studios of various musical specializations, which prepare a short program under the guidance of various choir directors. All workshops together assembled, I believe, over 400 singers. And the festival traditionally culminates with a public concert of individual studios and the final joint performance of all festival participants. And honestly, I don't think I was ready for what an emotional experience it was to see and hear all those singers. One could really feel the gratitude, you know, and the music connection like never before. And September allowed choirs for even more live singing. My choir, Lucky Voice Band, was able to give 3 concerts in the various cities within the Czech Republic, and even though the venues were not as full as usual and people in the audience wore the masks, there was an evident interest in music, life, and culture overall. So personally, my choir and my role as a choir director feels like a joy. People, music, atmosphere, and the joy of the audiences that sees us. We meet safely with the condition that protecting our choir members and their health is our top priority. We also use online methods to prepare as well and keep up everyone's spirits and enthusiasm with regular contact. I believe that is the key to ensure everyone's well-being.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and it's fantastic to hear that you've been able to do at least some performances and bring your group back together. And I know all of us are just very much looking forward to live performances returning and things getting back to normal and going out to concerts and performing for people. It's going to be a wonderful thing. I'd love for you to just tell us maybe a little bit about how you got involved with Musica Orbis, and you know, if there's something you would like for us to know about the festival.
Well, the starting point was meeting John, right? As you know, over here in Prague, as a choral director, you simply know who is John. And as we were talking, I realized it could be possible to combine my past business experience and passion for music, event and project management all in one in awesome position that is simply ideal for me, I believe. Right, John? And even though Musica Orbis Prague Festival was rescheduled, it has also provided us with great opportunity to create a new Czech version of the festival with competitive and non-competitive parts. And we have noticed significant interest in this Czech version as well as the international. And Musica Orbis Prague Festival, the Czech version, is scheduled, as you heard already from my colleagues, for the 24th and the 25th of October. And I believe, I see that the choirs are searching for the opportunities to perform. They are eager to attend various competitions and festivals and thus continue where they were forced to stop. To me, you know, future looks bright. People have learned to appreciate live music, and I think it's a win-win-win for organizers, for performers, and audiences alike.
Wonderful. So I know we have a little bit of time here at the end. We have John and Lucia with us to answer any questions that folks have. So please, if you want to ask a question, just go ahead and put that in the Q&A box and we will get to that. I will start us off. John, I'll throw this out to you. I mean, we all know Prague is amazing and fantastic, but it's not the whole country. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about some other areas of the Czech Republic or surrounding countries that you would recommend that groups visit.
John, I'm really glad that you asked that question, because this has been our message for such a long time. Prague is a magnificent destination, and it's so magnificent that the other parts of the Czech Republic are often overlooked, which is a terrible shame, because it's a very, very beautiful country overall. And as I mentioned, it's also an extremely cultured and musically appreciative country, from one end to the other. So we very much recommend that people go to the spa towns of Western Bohemia, places like Karlovy Vary and Mariánské Lázně, where you can have daily concerts on the spa colonnades. Absolutely beautiful. Then there are the lovely chateaus and monasteries of southern Bohemia, a kind of en route to Salzburg, if you're heading in that direction, with the main city of České Budějovice, where the original Budweiser beer comes from. And then there is Moravia, the eastern part of the Czech Republic, which is famous for its folklore and its wine growing regions. So we have great destinations throughout the country, and we're very happy to put together tours for people who want to explore outside the main centers, where maybe you get to make a bit more of a direct connection with the local people. And then, as we always say, we are right in the heart of Europe. So it's very easy to combine a visit to the Czech Republic with any one of our neighboring countries, and all of them make wonderful touring combinations. You have Germany, Austria, Poland, our very close but slightly wild and mountainous neighbor Slovakia, with its lovely little capital Bratislava, and then Hungary, of course. And one of the most popular combinations of recent years has been a 3-center tour taking in Prague, Bratislava, and Budapest. Yeah, the three kind of Habsburg capitals. Well, Vienna is another one, of course.
So we did have a question from one of our attendees about that tasty snack you were partaking of during your little walkabout town. They wanted to know what exactly was in that. Is that meat? Is that pastry? How do you make that?
You know what? It's a kind of it's just pastry which has been sprayed with cinnamon and sugar. So it's coated in cinnamon and sugar. Yeah.
So it's healthy. That's what you're saying.
Oh, incredibly healthy.
Yes. I don't see a question right here, so I'll throw one out to you. We talked a little bit about the WASBE conference, and I know that there's a limited amount of performance spots that are available on the main stage as part of that conference. But I wanted to ask, if a group was not able to get one of those spots, are there still performance options for them around town if they want to come for that conference?
Absolutely. You're right that WASBE, the association, they decide and select who will be the performers on the main stage, as it were. But there is also a fringe festival, and we as local organizers are in charge of the programming for the fringe. And we have a superb venue lined up, the pavilion in the Waldstein Gardens beneath Prague Castle, which is a wonderful place for summer concerts. And of course, there is then the possibility to add on individual concerts both in and outside of Prague.
Great.
Oh, and another thing perhaps I should mention is that we are delighted that the headline guests of the conference in 2022 will be the US Marine Band, the President's Own. So that will be a great honor, and this is maybe the chance for all of you band directors to share a billing with them if you come to the conference.
Fantastic. You know, I mentioned at the outset that you've done such a wonderful job with all the many Encore groups that we have sent to your part of the world. I'm just wondering if you maybe have a favorite memory of a particular group or concert from one of the tours that you've coordinated for us.
Yes, there are a number of things that spring to mind from recent years. One lovely thing that happened last year. Wow, it seems such a long time ago, but it's only last year. Heidelberg University Concert Choir, an excellent a cappella ensemble, and we did what we love to do with high quality choirs, which is we secured them an invitation to a professional festival which takes place in a little town of Příbram near to Prague, and they gave a very successful concert there. But who should be in the audience and come up to congratulate them afterwards but the grandson of Antonín Dvořák. That's the kind of thing you could really only experience here. And then over the years, I have very happy memories of ensembles from New England Conservatory. Several of those have been, some of them repeatedly, to our region, always of a very high standard. And I'd also like to give a shout for the Sacramento Youth Symphony, who've made a trip a couple of times to Prague and performed in the wonderful Dvořák Hall that we saw earlier.
Great, well, thank you. This has just been a wonderful time to be talking about music and wonderful European cities. And it's just, again, it's very uplifting to be looking ahead to some great events that are going to be happening. And I know we're going to have groups that will be visiting at some point here in the future. I want to thank you both, John and Lucia, and all our partners overseas for helping put together this webinar today. Thank you so much for all of your efforts. I hope everyone who attended enjoyed their visit to Prague. We all look forward to seeing special places like this again in person very soon. Before we go, I just want to let everyone know about our next webinar, Encore Live from London, which is going to take place next week, Wednesday, October 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That session is going to highlight a number of venues in and around London, and it's also going to include an interview with world-renowned English composer and conductor John Rutter. So I think that's going to be something that folks are really going to want to tune in for. If you look in the chat box right now, you should find a link to sign up for that event, and we'll also be sending out an email invitation later this week, and we hope to see you all there. As we transition out of our webinar today, we're going to leave you with some wonderful photos of Lucia and her choir performing, which is going to be great to see. So we hope you enjoy those. And until next time, thank you again for joining us from all of us at Encore Tours, and we will see you soon. Have a great day.